I'm on my way to the Philippines to speak in a conference, a very important one, regarding the support in Israel in these last days. However, I really want to update you on a very interesting development in the Middle East that is going on right now. As we speak, Russian bombers are dropping bombs on the city of Aleppo, killing dozens of people and leaving rubble all around. This is a harsh response of President Putin, is a defiance to the United States and to the European diplomacy. As we speak right now, there's a very important meeting at the United Nations Security Council in which both America and now the Europeans are basically reading a statement accusing the Russians of lying to the public and of taking an active role in the carnage that is going on right now in Aleppo. A couple hours ago, President Putin, in a very unprecedented manner, invited foreign press and gave them basically the foundations for what he believes the reason for him to act alone in defiance of US and European policies in the region. He basically accuses the Americans for lying to him throughout the whole time, not only about Syria, but he actually took it to a completely surprising direction. He basically says America, that was pushing for the deal with Iran, America that is so proud of that achievement, and he actually says it is an achievement, that Iran is no longer a threat. That's what he said. He said the same America is now putting a missile defense system in Romania, and they claim that it is because of the Iranian nuclear threat. He basically says, America, you're lying to the world. How come on one hand you're leading the effort in negotiating a deal with Iran and telling the world Iran is no longer a problem and no longer a danger, and at the same time America is putting missile defense systems in Romania and other places on other areas in the Balkan, and using the excuse that this is against the Iranian nuclear program. Basically, Putin is exposing the completely irresponsible foreign policy of President Obama. And what is going on right now is that the tension in the Middle East and the tension between America and Russia is probably higher than any other given moment since the end of the Cold War. But what we can read between the lines in what President Putin is right now saying to the public press, to the foreign press, is from now on, I'm about to take actions in the Middle East in complete defiance of whatever the Europeans or the Americans are going to say or do, simply because they're not truthful, because they're not honest, they're lying to you, therefore to me they don't even exist. Basically, Putin is positioning himself in a point where he will make a grand move for the attack that he might have to take in the future. Now, why is it so interesting? I call this the preparation of Gog, the Prince of Magog. I don't know if you know that, but the Chinese wall is also called the Wall of Magog. They know that they defend China from Russia, which is known by them in the ancient times already as Magog. Gog, the Prince of Magog, is going to basically start the assault that is described in Ezekiel 38. And what I see right now, what I'm detecting right now, is not only the physical move of the Russians last year into the Middle East with the excuse that ISIS is basically the thing they are fighting. But right now, Russia is telling the whole world, yes, we are in Syria. Yes, we are doing whatever we want to do. And yes, we are planning on doing more things in defiance of anything that you're saying or anything that you're doing, because there is no honesty and truthfulness on your hand. Basically, what is happening right now is Russia is feeling comfortable and secured, and I would say even very confident, moving alone without any international, without any European or American support in any of their moves. I find it very disturbing. At the same time, I find it interesting and not surprising. Disturbing because, as we can see, what they're doing is not exactly peaceful actions. They're dropping tons of bombs right now on innocent civilians right there in the city of Aleppo. But at the same time, we can see that when the moment will come and they will see that it is within their interest to go and attack Israel, and they will not hesitate to do so. They are basically telling the whole world, we've been misled by the Europeans and the Americans. We're no longer going to take them in any consideration in our future actions. We will do whatever we think is necessary and whenever we think it is necessary to be doing. So again, as I said before, and as I'm saying right now, keep your eyes on what's going on in Syria and watch the moves of the Russian president. I am not in the habit of telling people who is who in the Bible. For example, I'll never be taking any risk of identifying who might be the Antichrist or the false prophet. But this is the first time I can say that I can see that President Putin could be very much so Gog himself from Ezekiel 38. And all I see around me supports that assumption. And all I can say is that I'm extremely blessed to live in these days of seeing the prophecy of Ezekiel coming to pass. But at the same time, I think that we need to continue and pray for the people that are involved in this whole thing. There are hundreds of innocent civilians in the city of Aleppo that are being massacred, really, and are caught in between those interests of the West and Russia, of the Shiites and the Sunnis, of the Kurds and the Turks, and all of that. In between, you have the Christians in the Middle East that are suffering, and you have the innocent civilians that didn't have enough money to run or didn't have the strength to be able to take themselves out of that place. Now, the city of Aleppo is completely besieged. Even if you had the money or if you had someone to take you out, it was impossible. It is still impossible. The Syrian army, the Russian Air Force, and the Hezbollah and Iranian soldiers are literally besieging the entire city of Aleppo, which is, by the way, the largest city in Syria, even bigger than Damascus. So we're seeing unbelievable things happening. Again, right now, as I speak, it is an emergency meeting at the Security Council of the UN. And at the same time, the Russian president, for the first time, is turning to foreign press in a press conference, and is laying the foundation for what he's about to do and why he's about to do that. He's accusing the American administration for literally lying straight at his face. And it is a very serious accusation coming from a leader of such a great, big, massive country with such a very powerful military. So we're seeing things happening. the situation in the Middle East is escalating in a very rapid way, much faster than even I had anticipated. Again, everybody is bracing for tonight for the debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. But at the same time, regardless of who is going to win this one, it's of course November people are looking for, and January when a new president is going to sit in the White House. There's no doubt Obama has absolutely zero credibility in the Middle East, and now he has zero credibility also in with Russia and its allies. So not much for the Americans to be able to do right now in the Middle East as we speak. And I would say they better off working something behind the scenes with the Russians, because what we see now is that the Russians, they're getting angry, they're getting very, very wild, and those who are paying the price for it are the poor people of the city of Aleppo. I'm gonna be updating you more should something serious happen, but I just believe that it's important that we see and hear what is going on right now in the Middle East and keep our eyes up to the sky, because our redemption is drawing near. God bless you all.